Hello, my dear friends. So, today we are going to discuss a very tough and challenging problem from the Romanian Physics Olympiad 2019. The problem is very conceptual and very hard to think of at first sight. And this question was given to me by my very good friend Aditya. And thanks, Aditya, for sending me the question. And let us solve the question. A small solid rubber ball of radius r is thrown onto the inner wall of a long cylindrical tube, okay, which has its radius r and fixed with its axis of symmetry vertical. Okay, so I will just mark some important points. Here the radius of the ball is r. Okay, the cylindrical tube, it's capital R. Okay, and its axis of symmetry is vertical. Okay, the axis of symmetry is vertical. Axis of symmetry is vertical. This means that the cylinder is uh, in a standby position. Okay, in the if the ball is started off sufficiently large horizontal velocity v naught, then it start oscillate periodically in the vertically direction while it is still remaining or maintaining contact with the tube. describe the dance performed by the Describe the dance performed by the center of the ball. Okay, the static friction is quite large and so the ball never slides on the wall. Assume that the ball is incompressible and that its contact with the tube is only ever through a single point. Okay, so we have to consider that the contact is only ever through a single point. Okay, and the drag and rolling friction are negligible. Okay, so this is the kind of diagram you have to consider it. Here you need to know that this is the z axis in the axial direction, this is the ball, this is the ball. Okay, and this is the cylinder or the hole. You can just when we will discuss the official problem, then we will just see that this is a hole. Okay, in which the ball has fallen, and this is the x-axis and y-axis. Now let us discuss the solution. So students, this is the top view of the system. Okay, the top view of the system. Now let's go step by step. Okay, this is the capital R, this is the radius of capital R. Okay, this is the capital R radius of the cylinder. So this bigger circle is the cylinder and the smaller circle is the ball. Okay, so its radius is smaller. Now capital R, you can just see that this capital R, this what is this capital omega, this is capital omega. Okay, capital omega is the orbital angular momentum, orbital angular momentum. Okay, or what is orbital and spin angular momentum? Spin angular momentum in a body is due to the body itself, or the I omega term. And what is this orbital angular momentum? Orbital angular momentum in a body is due to the r cross mv term, or the momentum around any other point. Okay, and in our consideration, the point being the center. Okay, from here I am measuring the you can say the uh, so here you can just see that the velocity vector will be somewhat like this. Okay, somewhat like this, and this can be said as r cross this, r cross this. Okay, so velocity can be written by this orbital angular momentum, and omega 3 is the spin angular momentum. Now using finger rule, you can just say that if you curl your finger, omega 3 will be somewhere inside the plane. Okay, here inside the plane, omega 3. And by using the curling finger rule, you can just say that this omega will be outside the plane, the capital omega will be outside the plane. So this is the direction of capital omega, and this is the direction of omega 3, omega 3. Okay, so this is the direction of omega 3. So omega 3 will be inward the plane. Okay, so what are these omega 3, omega 1 and omega 2? Let me discuss that with you. Okay students, so here you can just see that friends, that this omega 1, this is the ball, this is omega 1, this is omega 2, and omega 3 will be in this direction. Sorry, I have just plotted the wrong direction. This will be the direction, and it will be downwards. Okay, it will be downwards, omega 3 will be downwards, it will not be upwards. Sorry for that mistake, it will not be upwards, it will be downward in direction. Okay, so omega 3 will be downwards in direction. Okay, so after this I can say that by the non-slipping condition, by the non-slipping condition I will say that by the non-slipping condition I will say that this thing. Okay, r omega 3 must be equals to r minus r capital omega. Now r minus r capital omega is r omega 3, and this thing, the radii ratio, one sort of radii ratio, is a constant value. So we can just say that omega 3 upon capital omega is a constant. Okay, so now we can say that omega 3 is in this direction. Now there is a friction force which is horizontal, not vertical. Here you can just write it as Fh. Okay, so Fh is acting, it is tending to increase omega, it is tending to increase capital omega and decrease omega 3. But by contradiction we can say that Fh is equals to 0, since you can just see here, friends, that omega 3 upon capital omega is constant value. Okay, it is a constant value, so it can never change. So we can just say that Fh is equals to 0, and it should be equals to 0. Okay, Fh should be equals to 0. So here I can say that omega 1 and omega 2 will also change direction, but omega 3 will always be axial. Neither capital omega nor omega 3 can change, because Fh is equals to 0. So omega 3 and capital omega will be constant throughout the motion of the ball. Now since initial v naught can be written as omega into r minus r, omega into r minus r. Now we can say that this capital omega can be written as v naught into r minus r, and please note it down because we are going to use this relation. Okay, we are going to use this relation. Okay, so here you can just see the vertical diagram of the ball. Okay, vertical diagram of the ball in the cylinder. Okay, you can just say that the ball is climbing upwards with omega 1 like that, and the velocity vz like that. Okay, so if I take the side view, omega 1 will be somewhere here outside the plane like this. Okay, so I can just put that outside the plane. Now here I can just say that if this is the side view, I have to write the both the Newton's equation in both angular form and uh, basic form. Okay, so vz is equals to r omega 1, condition of non-slipping, easy condition of non-slipping. Okay, so vz is equals to r omega 1. Once I do that, I will write the Newton's law in both simple form and angular form. So I will get this relation. It is very easy, mvz dot and omega dot y equals to 0, since there is no sort of torque or force in the y direction. Okay, so omega dot y is equals to 0. Now here I can say that, here you can see that omega 2 and omega 3 will always change direction, since they are mutually perpendicular. They will be mutually perpendicular, always they will be mutually perpendicular, but they will change their direction. Omega 3 will always be inside the plane, omega 3 will always be inside the plane, capital omega will always be outside the plane, but omega 2 and omega 1 will be changing. So why omega 1 is changing, omega x is changing, it is changing both due to omega 1 and omega 2. And if you have not studied the relation, you cannot solve this question, and I will not discuss the proof of this in this video. So omega x is equals to omega 1 dot minus this, and omega y is equals to omega dot. Now using all these equation, I will get a final double differential equation in vz. Now vz, since I get the double differential equation, I will just solve it using the double differential equation. I know the solution of this kind of equations are like this. Okay, now b term is 0, all the a term has came, now b term has not came because the b is equal to 0 in the initial situation. So here v dot z t equals to 0 means acceleration at t equals to 0 is minus 5 by 7 g, and it is the maximum acceleration of the center of motion of the ball. So I will just find the maximum amplitude. This is the amplitude of the motion. Okay, this is the amplitude of the motion, and this motion is quasi periodic, not sensu stricto. Means quasi periodic means the motion that is not entirely simple harmonic motion. It is just a kind of simple harmonic motion. Okay, it is not sensu stricto, means always strictly periodic motion, means it will always oscillate. Once a time it will come outside. Okay, once it will come outside. Okay, now let us discuss the beast, that is the main part of this lecture, that is the irritating golf ball. And this problem came in, you can say, the physics olympiad. Okay, the Romanian physics olympiad. So I think I should zoom out a little bit so that more of the page is visible. Okay, so now here, so the irritating golf ball, a ball that rolling on that is rolling on a vertical cylinder, okay, on a hole, you can just say, sometimes has a bizarre behavior. Golf players usually get irritated when the ball just enters the hole and comes back outside, okay. In the given figure, the ball is somewhere on the hole. The angular velocity of the ball is about that axis, or the orbital angular velocity, you can say that this is psi. Now angular displacement, capital omega, and this is psi, okay. Angular displacement is psi. So if you have not studied cylindrical coordinate system, you cannot approach find easy this mathematical approach. So please, if you want to understand the mathematical approach, you have to study the uh, cylindrical coordinate system, okay. So here you just r cap, psi cap, and z cap, simple cylindrical coordinates are given of the ball, okay. The radius of the ball is given, the radius of the hole is given, the velocity, initial velocity of the ball is given, it is v naught, and the depth of the hole is h. Depth of the hole is also given, means the last coordinate, okay. You can just say that this h, somewhere is the depth of the hole is h, okay. So here I will just say that 1 minute, skipped a lot, okay. So here I will just say that in this this is the height of the hole. Now we have to find the vertical position of the function of time. Minimum is v naught, so that it immediately exits the hole, not exists, it exits the hole, exits the hole, okay. And the mathematical condition for the coefficient of friction mu has to satisfy for the ball never slip, okay. So let us go again. So the what is the mathematical view? Now mathematical view is that if you just consider Griffiths, this is given that in s cap direction the vector is written as cos phi x cap sin phi y cap. In the phi cap direction it is written as uh, cos phi sin minus sin phi x cap and cos phi y cap, and z is simply z cap, okay. So these three vectors are mutually orthogonal, okay. They are mutually orthogonal, and you can just mark omega r, omega theta, and omega phi, and let us suppose that the forces that are acting on the body are fr, f psi, and fz. Fr, f psi, and fz, okay. That are shown in the fr is normal reaction, fz is simply the vertical friction, and this is the horizontal friction, okay. So if I write dl by dt, it is r cross f. So all types of forces that are acting on the body around its center, I will write r cross fr plus f psi plus fz, okay. Now here I can say that this r vector can be written as mod r into r cap, mod r into r cap, and once it gets multiplied here, once it gets multiplied here, I can just say that this will result in a zero. Why this will result in a zero? It will result in a zero because r cap cross r cap is zero, and now simple vector cross product can say tell us that r cap cross psi cap is z cap, and r cap cross z cap is minus psi cap. So this is the equation 1, and it's very important. We will just get to know that this equation is very important, and here we will be using this in our further analysis, okay. So another form, angular speed form. So angular speed form, I can just write ir omega r, I psi omega psi cap, I z omega z cap, okay. Since the ball has spherical symmetry, I can just say that I1 is equals to ir is equals to I psi is equals to Iz, and let us say that this is equals to I, and this is 2 by 5 mr square. Simply the moment of inertia of a sphere around any of its diameter is 2 by 5 mr square, and since that I get, okay. Now the vector analysis, see students, I already discussed the s cap is cos phi x cap and sin phi y cap. Once I differentiate it, why I am differentiating it, we will come to know it in a very short time, why I am differentiating it and what's the purpose of differentiating, okay. So ds by ds cap by dt can be written as minus sin phi. Since phi is always variable, we will use chain rule here, chain rule. So minus sin phi, and d phi by dt, you know, omega, this is the omega, this is phi, phi, as the phi will change, omega will increase or decrease, okay. Omega is dependent on phi. So here capital omega can be written as, and this will taken as common, so this is psi cap, nothing but psi cap. You can just see the vector analysis by rewinding the video. And this is s dot cap, s dot cap can be written as omega psi cap, okay. Now d psi cap dot dt, similar process, and we will get minus omega s cap, okay. Now z cap is simply z cap. Now let us see omega now once I take I outside, I will get omega r cap, omega psi cap, and omega z cap. Now omega r cap, omega psi cap, and omega z cap. Now what we will do here is just differentiate them respectively by the distribution. So okay, so product rule, we will apply product rule omega r dot r omega theta, oh sorry, here it will be psi, but theta, you know that both are the same thing, you can just take them psi or theta, whatever with them. Okay, so omega theta, theta dot theta, omega dot z. Okay, now putting the r cap dot from the above, okay, here we got r cap dot, this is the psi cap dot, and the r cap dot, we got both the things. And when we put them and put all the similar components together, such that this r cap, this is r cap, okay, now this is also r cap, when we put them together, I get a vector. Okay, I get a vector. So this is the that kind of vector, the r cap, psi cap and z cap. Okay, now I'll just equate. Okay, I will just equate both the fifth equation. You can just say that the fifth equation and the first equation that we arrived around its center and the angular momentum form. Okay, so omega r, getting that, we will just see that the in the angular momentum form, in the around its center format, the r cap vector was 0, r cap vector was 0, r cap component, we have no r cap component. Okay, so r cap component will become 0. So here we are just comparing the components. Okay, so omega dot r is minus psi omega theta and equals to 0. Now the second component, and similarly the third component, we will just compare the components. Okay, so now, since the ball doesn't slide on the wall, its point of contact must have null velocity, and you know that the ball is not moving. Ball is not moving in the radial direction; it is just moving inside the you can say the inside the cylinder. Okay, like that. Okay, so only v psi is matter, it what matters, and vz is what matters. Okay, so this and this matter, there is no movement in the radial direction, so we can just simply write vr is equals to 0. So v psi is equals to minus omega z r. Now how here omega z came, you should be knowing that v psi is something which will be pointing in this direction. Okay, v psi. Now omega z is minus omega z will point in this direction. Now omega z, since it is pointing in downwards direction, should be like that, net should be like that. Okay, should be like this. So I can just say that this will be acting backward omega zr. Okay, omega zr. So v psi is equals to minus omega zr and a psi is equals to minus r just differentiate. Okay, just differentiate this, we will use this also, that's why I have differentiated it. And after differentiation, we can just say that si is equals to minus r omega dot psi. Okay, so vz is equals to omega psi r. Now how vz is equals to omega psi r? Vz is something which is pointing in this direction, and you know that omega psi is something which is pointing in this direction. Now omega psi is pointing in this direction, it means that if I use the right hand rule here, I can say that it is like this. Okay, so net, I would say that this is the relation that will follow up here. So vz is equals to omega psi r. Okay, sorry, I think I took the opposite. No, it is correct. Okay, so omega psi is something which is point like that. Okay, so uh not to confuse you, I just erase this. Okay, so omega psi r. Okay, now I should just do that the non-slipping condition, all this non-slipping condition, and vr is already 0. So equation of motion along psi axis. So let us see the ball. Okay, where is the ball? uh Here. Okay, so equation of motion along psi axis, only f psi is acting and ma psi, f psi and msi, f psi and msi. Okay, f psi and msi. So f psi and msi will be equal to, okay, f psi and msi will be equal. Now fsi and msi, I told that they will be equal, and si I already found out from differentiation that it is minus r omega psi dot, minus r omega psi dot. Okay, so I will just equate that, and fsi I already know from the equation comparing of the components, I get it here. Okay, so fsi is I omega dot z, I omega dot z divided by r. Okay, now si, from this relation we can use, si from this relation also we can use. Okay, now here I can just say that this, using both these relations, I can just say that this will be the equation that we will arrive at, and omega dot z, since all these terms are equal to greater than 0, omega dot z is equals to 0. This means that omega dot z is equals to 0, means omega z and v psi have constant values. Now what is v psi? V psi is something like that. Okay, the velocity, and the same thing we got in the physical approach, you just remember that we got the same thing in the physical approach. Okay, and f psi is equals to 0, same thing we got, horizontal friction is equals to 0. Okay, we got that already in the physical approach, and by mathematical approach the same thing is happening here. So the center of the velocity, the center of mass is also the same. V naught is equals to psi r minus r, and V naught is equals to r minus r into psi. Now omega z is minus V naught by r. Similar relationships. Okay, so omega z, where is the omega z? This from here I can just say that omega z. So the non-slipping condition, omega z is equals to yeah, here omega z, it will be omega z minus V naught by r, minus V naught by r. Okay, so sorry for writing it as psi, it is z, omega z. Okay, so here I will just do that. Okay, so omega z is equals to minus V naught by r, so I will get the psi. This is very important, and this will be using in the simple harmonic equation. Okay, so writing the equation of motion along the z axis, so let us see along the z axis the equation of the motion. So in the upward direction, I can just say that Fz is acting in the upward direction, Mg is acting in the downward direction, Mg Mg will be acting in the downward direction, and the acceleration that is upward, can be written as Vz dot, Vz dot. Now Vz dot means the acceleration in the upward direction, and that too with a dot. Okay, so Vz dot. Now let us see next thing. So I will just write that equation. Okay, and I will arrive at an equation that is Vz dot, and we already know that Vz dot is omega psi r, omega dot psi r, omega dot psi r. Okay, so because r is constant, we can just differentiate omega psi. R is the radius of the ball. Okay, so from here I just did that. Vz is equals to, Vz dot is equals to omega dot r. Okay, Vz dot is equals to omega dot r. Now here I can just say that this is the equation, and once I arrived at equation for omega r, okay, from 6th, 7th and b, so this is b. Now 6th and 7th, see students, we have to use this, we have derived that, so we have to use it. So omega dot r is psi omega theta, and here also omega theta. So I will get an equation for omega dot r and also a double differential equation. So this is the equation for omega r in terms of omega theta. Okay, and omega r in terms of differential of omega theta. Okay, we have both the equation in the terms of differential and in the terms of simple. Okay, so after doing this, we can get a double differential equation in omega dot psi. Okay, double differential equation in omega psi. Okay, after solving the equation, we will get a solution. Omega dot psi is equal to 2 by 7 omega square, putting I is equal to 2 by 5 mr square. I will get 2 by 7 psi square, omega psi equal to 0. Now I will get a simple harmonic equation in omega psi, that is a sine root 2 by 7 omega t and b cos root 2 7 omega by t. Okay, now since I know that omega psi is Vz dot r, Vz by r, omega psi is equals to Vz by r. So let us see that if this is correct. So omega psi is equals to Vz by r, omega psi is equals to Vz by r. We are repeatedly using the 11th relation. Okay, so here Vz by r. Now at t equals to 0, Vz is equals to 0, means this is equals to 0 at t is equals to 0, and at t equals to 0, this is also equals to 0. Okay, this is also equals to 0, but this term is non-zero, so b has to be 0. So I can just say that the equation of the motion for Vz is ar sine root 2 by 7 omega, capital omega t. Okay, so right before the ball enters the hole, it rolls clockwise without slipping, with angular velocity, angular speed on the r axis is equals to minus v naught by r. Okay, so at t equals to 0, omega r is equals to minus v naught by r. Okay, now if I just integrate omega r, either be using this relation. Okay, so omega dot r, you got psi omega theta dot. Okay, now psi omega psi dot, and here you can just say omega dot psi. Okay, omega dot psi. So you will get omega dot here. Okay, so it is omega dot here. Just remember omega dot is psi omega theta. Now integrating it with respect to time, omega psi, we already got omega psi as a function of time, simple harmonic function, you should know that. Okay, so we can just put it as v by r and then integrate it, psi by r will get common, and then we can just integrate the equation. So after integration, I will get this relation of omega r. Okay, now at t equals to 0, simplifying this equation, I can just say that omega r, this has came by integration for kind notice. Okay, you can just integrate and check. Omega r is minus v minus 5g by 2 sigma minus 5g by 2 omega r plus root 7 by 2 omega a cos, and we have to find the amplitude. So we will use we will use initial condition. In SHM we already know that to find the amplitude we have to use the initial condition. So at t is equal to 0, omega r is equals to minus v naught by r, and once I equate that on both sides, minus minus gets cancelled. Okay, the minus minus gets cancelled. Okay, uh, after integration, all these results are after integration. Okay, minus v naught by r. Okay, so v naught by r is equals to something like that, and then I get the amplitude. I put it again in vz. I put it again in vz. Now since I have found vz as a function of time, so here I just forgot to write the t. Here we forgot to write the t. So we got the function of vz as a function of time. Now we have to find the function of dz as a function of time. So we will just dz by dt will just do the integration, and we'll get a simple harmonic equation. And after the simplification, putting psi is equals to v naught by r minus r and all other simplification, I will get an equation which is z is equals to this. And this is a very long and nearly non-approachable equation in exam temperament. Okay, so if v naught would be big enough such that the ball would jump out of the hole, z will never be less than h. Z will never be less than h. Okay, now in this equation you can say that this term is always positive. This term is always positive. This term by trigonometric argument you can say that this is always positive. So this should be negative for the overall expression to be positive. Okay, I have done that here. So overall expression, to keep the overall expression positive, I have just put it less than 0. So I will just get v naught is equals to greater than minus 5 by 2 gr minus r. That is the minimum speed v naught required to just jump out of the hole. Okay, the minimum speed is should be just greater than that. Okay, so now since I know that the horizontal friction is 0, fz is the friction and fr is the normal reaction. Now by simpler modifications of fr using mar and using all the simpler modifications by the equations that have been used above, we can arrive at an equation which is minus mv naught square r minus r. And you can also say that is the effective centrifugal force, some sort of effective centrifugal force. Okay, so now I can just say that fz is equals to the same equation. Now I know psi, then I also know omega dot psi. Just differentiate the omega psi equation. Now here I again forgot the time. Okay, so this is t omega t. Okay, v naught t. Okay, sorry, one mistake was there. uh Here I have already converted it. Okay, sorry, I got just did a mistake here. I already converted that now, sorry. So I have fz max. Now for maximum this will be equal to 1, nothing else is varying variable. So I will get an fz max value. So fz max value is somewhat like that. Now from Coulomb's law of friction, I already know that the mu should be greater than the f friction force upon normal reaction. Now this is mod of fz by mod of fr, or the radial force. Okay, the normal reaction is the radial force, we already know that. And we know the magnitude of the radial force, we know the magnitude of the fz max. Now we can simply do the thing, and we will get mu should be greater than 2 by 7 1 minus g r minus r by v naught square. Now here you can just see that this is all the velocity and other thing that have been marked in the figure. Overall I would rate this problem a 5-star problem or a 6-star problem. It was a very difficult, and the first part was the main part, and the question was overall very nice. So I hope you like the solution. Thanks.